And the Reverend will tell you flat out that he don't agree with homosexuality. And I don't know, I think I'm still learning about it myself, and you know, I don't feel like I know enough to say that homosexuality is right. When you've been raised your whole life to think that it's wrong, and right now I would say that I don't agree with it. Yeah, I don't agree with homosexuality. But maybe that's just because I couldn't do it. And speaking in religious terms, I don't think that's how God intended it to be anyways. But I don't hate homosexuals. I mean, I'm not going to persecute them or anything like that. That's not going to be getting in the way between me and the other person at all. Throughout this course, we embarked on a journey to understand the ways in which public policy shaped the lives and understanding of the LGBTQ rural experience. We heard from mayors, city council leaders, school board leaders, clergy, queer youth, all in an attempt to understand and hear the voices of the people so that we could better understand the notions of community, advocacy, and change. Through excerpts from The Stranger Next Door, public comments from city council meetings and school board meetings all across the country, monologues from the Laramie Project and Homeward Shadows, along with national statistics and nightly news reports. This interpretive program will attempt to capture the tension, complexity of navigating dual identities in small town environments, where the weight of visibility and invisibility collide. A program of oral interpretation. According to sociologist James Davidson Hunter, culture war pits traditionalists who understand the truth in terms of an external, definable, and transcendent authority, usually defined by religious beliefs, against progressives who see the truth as inherent in human beings and the natural order constantly in flux. The Equality Act would force schools and churches and hospitals to allow men into women's restrooms, women's shelters, and sports teams. It's a blatant attack on religious freedom, and I will not stand by and let it happen. When you grow up in a town where everyone knows your name, you'll learn how to walk quietly. You'll learn how to speak in ways that don't serve so much attention, to blend in with the sound of Sunday morning church bells and the hum of the same streets you've walked 1,000 times. But what they don't know, what I've had to keep to myself, is that I've always been more than just what they see. I'm Black, and that's already a thing here. But being gay, that's a whole different kind of weight. It's like carrying a secret so heavy that it pulls your shoulders down and makes your chest tighten with every breath. When I was in 6th grade, I went to a required assembly at my middle school. Unsurprisingly, it was like any other assembly, a don't bully assembly. But this one was different. It was don't bully gay people. I remember walking out of that assembly, having been alive my whole 11 years, with my mind absolutely blown about the concept of homosexuality. I was not only confused, I was amazed. I spent weeks thinking, wow, that sure does sound cool. It would be awesome to be gay. I really wish I was gay. Oh, too bad there's just no way. Until I realized that maybe there was a way. And maybe straight people don't usually desperately wish to be queer. I came out to my sister pretty soon after I came out to myself. After her whole 9 years of being alive, She had no idea what I was talking about either. It's been a good while since all of that. Almost 10 years. Times have changed a little. Nowadays, there's all this rhetoric about children being indoctrinated with queerness by learning of its existence, but queerness is it's a truth of life. And it's certainly better to always be aware of it than to be shocked by the concept when you're 11. Kids are information sponges. So why would we want them to soak up hate at such a young age? And more importantly, the average Barbie fan has more Barbies than Kens, and it's much easier to couple them when you know that Barbies can be couples too. According to Trevor Report's 2023 National Survey on LGBTQ youth, 45% of LGBTQ youth in rural areas considered suicide and are more likely to experience symptoms of depression and anxiety, often due to the lack of supportive peers, family members, and community support. As culture arguments go, religious conservatives also often use their faith to insulate themselves from the threatening changes around them, looking to traditional values as guides for living. In contrast, liberal secularists are often apt to embrace the changes they see around them. In a place like this, people talk. They whisper about things they don't understand, things they don't want to understand. And the worst part, you hear those whispers everywhere, in the barbershop, in the grocery store, even at the dinner table. They speak in code, in jokes, in warnings, like your existence is something to fear, something to fix. Every day I wrestle with it. How much of myself do I show? How much do I hide? It's like I'm stuck between two worlds, trying to be black enough for my people and straight enough for everyone else. The truth is, I'm tired. Tired of shrinking, of folding myself into a shape that doesn't fit. When I came here, I knew it was going to be hard to be a gay man. But I kept telling myself, people should live where they want to live. And there'd be times I'd go up to Denver to a gay bar and people would ask me where I'm from. And I'd say, I'm from Durango. And I met so many gay men who grew up there. And they're like, how could you live there? How could you stay there? But every once in a while, there'd be a guy. And he'd say, gosh, I miss Durango. I mean, I really loved it there. That's where I really want to live. And they'd get this starry-eyed look. And I'm like, if that's where you want to live, then do it. I mean, imagine if more gay people stayed in small towns. But I guess that's easier said than done. It's perfectly acceptable for Mr. Edwards, a gay liquor salesman and a supporter of gay grooming events like Queer Com, to go into our schools, to read to our young children, and to post pictures on his Facebook page. Mr. Edwards is obviously a lawbreaker and a gay groomer. I'm tired. Tired of pretending that I don't hear the words that people say when they think I'm not listening. And even with all that, I love this town. It's home. These streets raised me. But I wonder if they can ever really love me. All of me. The me that's proud to be black and gay and alive. So I stay quiet. For now. But one day, I know I'll have to speak. I'll have to say the words out loud, even if they echo back in silence. Because this is who I am. and I deserve to be seen, even in a place that tries so hard to look away. Banning LGBT books isn't going to stop anyone from being gay. It will just make them miserable and alienate them, and the consequences will be fatal. A report by GLSEN's 2023 National School Climate Survey found that LGBTQ youth in rural schools experience higher rates of bullying and harassment than their urban counterparts. 60% of rural LGBTQ youth reported verbal and physical harassment due to their sexual orientation. You, by Idaho law, are required to maintain the morals and the health of all students. How can you do that when you let little boys go to the bathroom with little girls? You know, it was just good to be with people that felt like shit also. I kept feeling like I don't deserve to feel this bad, you know? And then somebody got up there and he said something, but I know I'm saying it wrong, but he said, "Come on, guys, let's show the world that Laramie is not like this." But it is that kind of town. If it wasn't that kind of town, why did this happen here? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, why did it happen? Because it did happen here. So how could it not be this kind of town? Like, that's just totally like, that's crazy. It's like looking at a Picasso painting and getting all mixed up. It's a lie. And we have to mourn this. We have to be sad that we live in a town, in a state, and a country that allows shit like this to happen. I mean, these people are trying to distance themselves from this crime, and we need to own this crime. Everyone needs to own it. We are like this. We are like this. We're like this.